Hello, Internet. This is Adam, Borgmaster Redacted, here with the second installment of Chariot of the Pods. We figured out a name for this podcast,
My
and
name was better.
Jatsu's name was better, but I mean, here we are.
We have been forbidden from saying Yatsu's name by the Deep Listens overlords.
You're not introduced. I am joined here by Jason, Jatsu Redacted, who was the first to speak up.
That's true. Actually, I could speak with a bit of a lower voice today, but I'm not going to do that because that would be stupid. So, hello, everybody. I'm Canadian.
He is Canadian. I am joined by Tyler, Grav, Redacted.
Hello, Borgmaster, and I'm not Canadian.
Almost.
No.
And our very special guest this week is Justin. Let me make sure I get this. Justin R258, Redacted.
That's me. I'm also not Canadian.
Very not Canadian. Because Canada isn't real. Anyway, this is the podcast where we are watching through Stargate SG-1 from beginning to end and talking about it. Last week we went through the movie Stargate, which I said was unnecessary and was unnecessary, and then the pilot, which is necessary. And this week we're going to be going through the next 4 episodes, according to the order in IMDb. There's some controversy here. Don't mind that. So we are going to be covering The Enemy Within, Emancipation, The Broca Divide, and The First Commandment. So episodes 2 through 5. And we probably should have figured out a format of how we're going to do this, but oh well.
There's more episode listing confusion that I've seen because sometimes the first episode, Children of the Gods, is split between some places seem to call it episode 1 and 2 because it's a part 1 and 2 thing, and some places consider that whole thing the first episode. So your numbering is way off.
I think the whole thing was aired as one thing on Showtime.
That's how it is on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, so it was aired as one thing on Showtime, and then the Sci-Fi, when they would do reruns, they split into 2 so they could fit it into the hour time slot.
The Wikipedia episode list, however, counts it as 2 episodes.
Well, the Wikipedia episode can get I'm going by IMDb.
Okay, fair enough.
So yes, dear listener, there is confusion and enmity involved in figuring out just what order to do these things.
Most places seem to agree on it's just my DVDs that are maybe a little off. Maybe I accidentally bought some bootlegs. I don't know.
I'll check my DVDs when I can uncover them again.
Okay.
So I think for the format we can do, because these are pretty simple plots for these at Planet of the Week episodes. So we can just do like one of us does a 2-minute summary of the plot, and then we just dig into it and until we're done.
Sure.
How's that sound for everyone?
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
Yeah, Borgmaster, I got plot summaries up in front of me.
No, your own plot summary.
Yeah. Do you think this is some sort of plagiarism zone?
Well, I just like to have the thing written out in front of me. So.
Yeah, I mean, having a quick reminder is not a problem. I'm just messing.
A reminder.
These are more like paragraphs.
But like when you summarize something, you use your own words, or else the teacher will find out, and then that's academic dishonesty.
Yeah, then they want you to put something in the edges there where you tell where your sources are, and you said it was from the internet, and they said you can't trust the internet because it's the year 1999.
The only one of these that'll be hard to summarize, or at least a little bit challenging to summarize, is The Enemy Within, because stuff happens in an episode. It's also incidentally the best of this bunch.
Really? Okay.
I would call The Enemy Within the best of this bunch by quite a bit.
Yeah, it definitely follows up the pilot and just kind of sets the ball rolling immediately. And then, unfortunately, going forward, it just kind of seems to do a Planet of the Week type thing. But
Yeah.
As was the style of the time. All right, so getting into it, the episode 2 of Stargate SG-1, The Enemy Within, is more exposition leading off directly from the end of the pilot. It begins pretty much immediately from the end of the first episode. Kowalski has a larval ghoul in his neck. Teal'c is there, and the U.S. military is very interested in Teal'c because he's an alien who should know many things.
One thing we should note off the bat at the beginning of this episode, one thing they don't ignore is why aren't the Goa'uld counterattacking? Why isn't Apophis counterattacking since he knows about everybody? He is. They just keep the iris closed, which is they have a block in front of the Stargate that they can close, and if it's closed, nothing can get through the gate.
It's 30 microns from the event horizon or whatever.
It's like right up against it's like there's physically no space between the gate and the what they call the iris, which is a metal shield. Yeah. So at the beginning of the episode, you're hearing a bunch of
splats.
You're hearing a bunch of splats of people, like troops, trying to get through, but they can't get through, so they're just I guess disintegrating against the iris.
I like to think they're traveling at the speed of light directly into a giant metal wall that just makes them go kind of like a bug on the windshield type scenario.
Yeah, pretty much. You do have to scrape the radioactive remains of anything that comes through off the iris.
Yeah, the janitor of whatever that place is, Stargate Command's just a really, really bad job.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because it's actually self-defense dollars spent wisely. It's like, why wouldn't we have a giant titanium gate that prevents, armed incursions of our top secret military base?
And that's one of the few smart security measures they have this early in the show, but we'll get to that. So Kowalski has a baby Goa'uld in his brain, but it can't take full control because it's young. He freaks out and does goes into some fugue states, does some violence. Teal'c is getting grilled by some jerks from the Pentagon, who are always slimy jerks. Like whenever the Pentagon guys show up in any military themed show, they're always just the biggest slimy jerks possible. And I imagine most active duty personnel who don't work in the Pentagon would agree with that. So these two plots are going on. They find out about Kowalski pretty quickly, but not as fast as they should have.
Yeah, unfortunately for one doctor who I don't think he gets a name, but
he doesn't
need a name. He dies immediately.
Yeah, he more or less does the "what the hell's that?" and then gets grabbed by the neck and snap.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which, by the way, so I need to bring this up really quickly. At one point, Kowalski said, "Just give me the horse pills," right? So I was thinking about that for a second. The Goa'uld are basically space worms, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Should we have just given him the horse dewormer? Would that have solved everything?
It's around the neck, not his intestines.
Yeah, it's
a problem.
Yeah.
Well, what if we put enough of it in there? What if he becomes more horse dewormer than man?
I don't think that'll help. Your Joe Rogan solutions aren't going to help in this particular situation.
Listen, I think Kowalski would have appreciated it. He even asked for it. That goddamn it.
I mean, okay. Honestly, like you could definitely point out some stupid stuff they did in this episode, but
we're going to. I just want to finish the summary.
Ultimately, they did do the best. I think they did the best thing they could ultimately, and it didn't work out. Spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm. Spoiler that I will now get to. So they find out pretty quickly. There's some medical drama going on. They're going to try to just take the thing out from around his spinal cord. The surgery seems to be a success, but a part of the Goa'uld had lodged itself right up in there and was still in control of him. There's a fight with Teal'c. The Goa'uld tries to leave Earth, to go be a Goa'uld. And fight scene with Teal'c in the gate room with an active gate. They do the telefrag thing again, but without the budget.
Sorta,
like a partial telefrag, let's say. Again, because they didn't have the budget. And then that's it for Kowalski. And now everyone trusts Teal'c.
That seems to be like the main thing they wanted to get to in this episode was how do we get everyone to trust Teal'c? I do still think they did it a little quickly, but hey, the whole thing with I think they do a pretty good job of making you wonder: is Kowalski? Is this just the Goa'uld acting, or is Kowalski actually awake sometimes? And I think towards the beginning, it's strongly implied that he is, but by the end, it's just the Goa'uld pretending to be Kowalski sometimes.
Yeah. They do there's a lot of good character moments for a character that, for all intents and purposes, we don't really see again. You know?
Yeah. That means that at this point, that means that the entire original list of characters is dead, except Jackson and O'Neill.
Freddy's alive. We just never see him again.
Yeah,
Freddy. Well,
Freddy.
It kind of left that up in the air because he was pretty seriously injured. But yeah, he could still be alive and retired.
I mean, I'd retire if I went to an alien space world where they spoke, a different dialect of Egyptian.
I'd probably say like, yeah, that's enough for me. I'm gonna go home and
give me my pension. Just give me my pension, military. I've done enough.
Just permanently maimed, and they're like, yeah, all right, you did your time off world.
Mm-hmm.
The average lifespan of an SG member is about 2 missions anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, if you're not part of SG-1, basically, you might as well just be a red shirt, from what I understand.
Yeah. So thoughts on this episode? Because I can nitpick all day for little things. I mean, this is still the best episode in the batch. Don't get me wrong. I just like, picking nits.
I do think it's a genuinely good episode. There's a lot to nitpick. I mean, I feel there's a lot to nitpick in every 90s sci-fi TV show. There's a lot to nitpick here, but ultimately I think it's a good plot that moves along at a good pace, which isn't necessarily the same thing I can say for the rest of these episodes. I like parts of the rest of the episodes, except for one in particular, which we'll get to soon.
Mm-hmm.
But this one I would say is genuinely good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, I think the character moments between O'Neill and Kowalski are good. Like him basically confining with him, just saying like, "Hey, you know what? If I wake up and I'm not me, you need to stop me." Like that's like a genuinely good moment, actually. I think.
Yeah. It does a good thing of. I think it does a good thing as far as O'Neill's character goes. It does a good thing of showing a side of him that isn't just a complete smartass, because he spends that entire first episode being a smartass, and that's fine. That's a lot of what his character is. That is sort of like the top level O'Neill character, but it does dig down and say, here's what this guy is like when things are actually pretty emotional. If I have a major complaint about this episode, and it's not the episode's fault, it feels like something that should have occurred later on. I feel like it would have hit a lot harder if we knew Kowalski better.
Yeah, like if that's something I agree with. If it was something that was sort of like in the background, Kowalski not necessarily knowing that this is happening to him, and it's sort of just kind of working its way through, let's say, like even like a halfway season climax, I think that would have worked better. But I don't think they necessarily did a bad job.
Yeah, they didn't.
It felt more like they were just trying to write the character out of the show. That way they can focus on the characters they did want to write for.
Yeah. Which, unfortunate for I forget who's the actor who plays Kowalski.
I don't know. He does a really good job.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it here.
Jay Avacone.
Okay, Jay Avacone. Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, Jay Acovone. I got that backwards.
Acovone.
Yeah, Acovone.
Yeah, and to be honest, like it's quite obvious they want Teal'c to be Jack's right-hand man on the team. He's the warrior. He's the one that kind of sympathizes with Jack's military way of thinking. Yeah, if you had kept Kowalski around, you would have basically had the same character filling the same role.
So Neil can only have one best friend.
Is Teal'c?
Exactly.
I know they seem interested in Teal'c, but also there are parts of these 4 episodes where it feels like they don't know what to do with Teal'c.
Yeah,
Right?
well,
Because in the next episode that we're going to talk about, Emancipation, which
He just kind of hangs out.
Teal'c does nothing. He says he has 2 sentences, and one of those sentences happens at the very end of the episode, and it's a joke. Otherwise,
we'll get to
all he
that.
does is stand there in the background.
yeah, there's multiple episodes where if you're just looking for Teal'c and what he's doing, he's just kind of in the background grousing. It's kind of his whole character in the first season, I think.
Yeah. I mean, half of Teal'c's character is in his eyebrows.
That's true.
The old Spock thing, yes.
Yeah. One last thought on Enemy Within.
One last thought? I thought we're in the middle of it, but okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought we were moving on. My bad. But I kind of appreciated the thought of giving or fleshing out the lore pertaining to the Gould and just how much of a nuisance they are once they've entered into a host. As Borgmaster mentioned in his plot summary, the thing just basically latches onto your spine and doesn't let go, and there's no way to remove it without killing the host itself.
I do think that one of the things I did think it was weird in the episode where they cut the Gould, the worm, basically in half, and from the way they filmed whatever the X-ray screener is or whatever is, it looked like they only cut it in half and didn't get the other half, the important half they should have got. I feel like they probably should have taken the whole thing out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
probably.
didn't make sense to me.
But that's something where I could suspend my disbelief because, this is a doctor dealing with something quite literally alien. He wouldn't necessarily know what to look for, right?
Yeah, they're still figuring things out. And that's kind of the through line for these first few episodes is they're making all the mistakes that future rules are based off of.
Mm-hmm. And I think they make a big point of stating that something of the host remains. That's how the worm inside of him was able to know the keys to open the gate from the US military side, because otherwise he wouldn't have. He didn't have Kowalski's knowledge. So I guess that's some sort of through line to sort of give you hope for Daniel Jackson's wife and possibly Skara. That's his name, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess the whole point of this episode is it's really the Kowalski episode, but I feel like it's trying to introduce Teal'c in a certain way too, but it does a much better job of telling you who Kowalski is, even more than the movie, than it does of who Teal'c is. And they kill him. So
Yeah.
but it is what it is. I'm not saying it's bad for that. I get why they did it.
Yeah, because when in the questioning of the short questioning scene of Teal'c, the Pentagon guys are like, okay, well, can you tell us how the gate works? He's like, no, I don't know how it works. It's like how any of the technology works. It's like, nope, no idea.
Yeah, that is honestly that seems kind of funny. They approach it and they're like, we want the technology and everything right now for offense, and really they that's the wrong questions to start asking. You got the wrong guy for that.
Yeah, no, he was like, no, I know how to use the weapons and train guys to use the weapons.
I do feel like what Teal'c does know and what Teal'c doesn't know is not going to be terribly consistent, at least right now, because there's an episode later on where he does know something about a machine.
He's seen it before. He's seen someone use it before.
Yeah,
he's not trained in how it works or anything.
It doesn't seem to matter much.
Yeah.
Basically, Teal'c isn't your rocket scientist. He's not their space engineer. He was literally Gruntman McGrunson. So,
that's fine. I just think he's going to be inconsistent on what he can and cannot use. Just whatever's plot convenient, at least so far.
It seems like he knows which buttons to press and what order, but in terms of like opening up the hood and checking out the engine, that part he's completely a miss on.
Yeah. Which puts him at the level of O'Neill. So that's why those two will be able to bond so well throughout the series.
Yeah.
But yeah, so also make a note, they use the word Towery for the first time in this episode. I say first time.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
The Towery are the Earth humans. The humans from Earth, where humans came from. So all these humans that they're finding on other planets aren't like from other planets. Their ancestors were abducted by aliens from Earth and then deposited as slave labor throughout the galaxy. And the Jaffa aren't even really aliens. They're descended from humans who are genetically modified to serve the purposes of the Goa'uld. The Goa'ulds are aliens because they're weird snake guys. But everything that looks like a human is a human. And they established that as part of big exposition dump, which is smart. You avoid the Star Trek thing of, you're going out these planets where everyone's just basically a human with like a little bit of thing on their face. And you have to like suspend a lot of disbelief on that. Whereas here's like, no, they're all humans.
I think the other thing what was the other thing that they kind of established? It's that I forget, is he Commander Hammond, Lieutenant? He's Commander
General Hammond.
General
Brigadier
Hammond.
General Hammond.
Brigadier General Hammond. Yeah, he's basically just like, yo, man, I got the president on speed dial. He listens to me. Like, your shit.
He's got the little red phone in his office.
Because Bill Clinton had nothing better to do.
It's that era, isn't it?
It's just one military base.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I don't know if there really was a military base that had access, that had a big alien gate in it. I think the president would probably want to keep a good tap on that one.
It's like this one brigadier general can bypass the entire Joint Chiefs and go straight to the president.
Alternatively, they'll do the Independence Day thing, where the reason the president didn't know about Area 51 was because of plausible deniability, which, considering current circumstances, might also be an intelligent move.
Yeah, no, maybe the military just shouldn't have told the president about any of this. I mean, in the 90s, you could trust Big Willie to know about the Stargate, so no one really thought that far ahead.
Yeah, you just can't trust him with anything else.
No, just don't trust him to be by himself with an intern.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you can't trust him with interns, but with like national secrets about alien artifacts, he'd probably be fine.
Yeah, he's good.
Well, to be fair, they establish in the lore that this whole operation cost $7 billion, which isn't much in today's dollar, but
that's like a penny of the U.S. military budget.
It still doesn't sound like enough for the time.
Yeah, that was a lot at the time.
I mean, at some point you have to explain where that money's going.
Sure.
You know, taxpayers and all.
That is like a big class.
What they do is they say that they spend $30 million on a plane and say it costs $60 million and just buy a bunch of other stuff in the same way.
Cooking the books.
Yeah. What do you mean you spent $500 on a hammer that costs $50 at Home Depot?
Listen, this hammer's high quality.
But no, I mean, there's appropriation lines for like secret stuff they can't tell you what they're doing. It's just it's usually not that big. So in this world, how they get that past appropriations is something that will come up.
Ah, cool.
They do eventually touch on a lot of things. Also, I want to complain about how understaffed the infirmary is. I mean, yes, it's the first episode. There's been two whole entire gate missions. Like, they're probably not fully staffed up yet. But like, Kowalski was by himself in there with victim number one, that doctor.
Which I believe victim number one is the only real like permanent victim, right?
Yeah, I think he's only one that gets killed by Kowalski. Actually,
like a few people get beaten up or knocked out, but he's dead. He's straight up dead. He's not.
He's super dead.
The body count in a later episode is actually a fair bit higher, if I remember.
Yeah, this is actually a very limited body count as far as things go. But yeah, so like the infirmary is way understaffed. They fixed that. So in my head, just like in universe, because it's such a new program, and they literally it's like a couple of days they've been doing this. They still need to get in like doctors and nurses and orderlies and all that.
Yeah.
So that's a thing that I keep an eye on. Also, they need way better quarantine procedures.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
are. Come to think of it, 3/4 of the episodes we're about to talk about involve some kind of quarantine procedures they should have taken part in.
And if we had expanded out our scope of this episode, it would be more episodes where they should have had better quarantine procedures.
God, yeah, yeah.
That will be a reoccurring theme.
For a couple seasons.
Yeah,
They'll figure it out eventually.
Like season 2 will feel like every other episode is a base infection episode.
And also, you can tell how new they are at it because when in the opening, when they get their iris closed, whatever Apophis is sending through goes splat. Like Hammond turns on the self-destruct for the base with like a 3-minute timer.
We did
Just in case they make it through, let's just blow ourselves up.
Yeah, because they don't know how good the iris is quite yet.
Okay, so there are two things I'd like to point out here regarding that. For one, the Stargate isn't very big. You can't fit all that many troops past it. So I don't see why a self-destruct would be necessary when you could probably fill that room with guns and prevent anything really. I guess if they threw a couple of frag grenades in there, it'd be a problem. But like they'd still have a really hard time getting out.
Well, remember back in the pilot, like the episode opened with Apophis walking through the gate with a bunch of his henchmen, and you had a nice little gun battle where all the airmen get smoked and maybe you lose one or two, Jaffa.
So what you do here is you bring in the military men who can actually aim. There are at least a few of them, I swear.
Unfortunately, one of them was Kowalski.
Sadly. Rip in peace, our javelin man.
Stinger.
Oh, Stinger.
Yep.
I get mixed up. So there is one thing I think they tried to give some explanation for what Apophis was throwing at them. There's like a couple lines from Teal'c where he refers to those incidents as Apophis's weapons, not necessarily troops. So maybe Apophis was just trying to send in like giant like energy blasts through the gate that were just being dissipated by the iris. Like just artillery through the gate, to
Maybe.
soften things up.
That's possible.
I bet someone at some point figures out how to get past that iris.
Oh, you'll see.
Should we play a drinking game of how many episodes it takes to get to the point where someone can get past it?
No, I mean I have to take a shot every time someone gets past the iris later. Because if so, then we may be in danger.
No, that's in a different story arc. But no, the iris works.
Yeah, the iris is going to be one of two unsung MVPs at Stargate Command.
Is the other one Gary Jones?
Sure. I don't even know who Gary Jones is.
He shows up in the credits all the time, and you'll figure out who he is. All right, so let's see here. There's those notes. Oh yeah, so the way like Teal'c ends up killing Kowalski at the end is like the gate's open and he holds like the back of his head into the gate horizon and the gate closes. So I'm guessing it just takes off like the back of his head like a Mortal Kombat finisher almost.
Yeah.
So Kowalski, the guy controlling Kowalski did open the gate and then ran to the gate, and he found Teal'c standing in front of it, and they have a scuffle. And then I think it's O'Neill comes up there and closes the gate while Teal'c is holding Kowalski at least partially inside of it.
Yeah,
Like you
that's
don't you don't see the gore. It's just implied that took off the back of his head, and like the way he falls, you never see.
Something falls out of the back of his head.
yeah. The what's left of the gold just kind of flops out, and then that's when O'Neill comes and is like, "Ah, my friend died on the operating table," sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a bit of a sad ending to the first non-two-parter episode.
Yeah, does a really good job of making you real excited for what's next.
The three-parter. So Stargate is going to have a bad habit of having unofficial three-parters throughout the series.
That's okay with me.
Yeah.
That probably wouldn't have been okay with me in the 90s when I had to wait a week between episodes.
Yeah, and it also makes reruns difficult because the reason why you have Planet of the Week episodes is so you can syndicate that shit. But so that's why this episode feels rushed. They were just trying to get to a status quo that they could syndicate from, and then go from there, as was the style of the time.
Yeah, listen. The Sci-Fi Channel had no problem syndicating this for a really long time.
Hell yeah! All right, so that moves us on to episode 3, Emancipation. Who wants to summarize this one?
Oh boy, can I give like the very quick summary?
Do it.
Okay, so Emancipation is an episode where it's one of the first Planet of the Week episodes. Essentially, the SG-1 team shows up on... Oh yeah, you're right. The SG-1 team shows up on a planet that's controlled by Mongolians, who all speak perfect English
inexplicably.
Yeah. And one of the Mongolian tribes is led by Shang Tsung. Right? Come on. Did anyone else recognize that actor?
No, I did not.
Yeah,
he was who Shang Tsung is.
He was the main antagonist in the Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah, it's the guy who played Shang Tsung in the first Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah.
And also MK11, turns out.
I think the working title for this episode was, "Oh shit, women."
Really?
No,
that makes sense, yeah. But I guess the basic plot point of this movie, of this episode, is essentially they show up on a planet. They sort of help this kid who's at first very freaked out that they have a woman with him. His tribe shows up, who also gets very freaked out that they have a woman with him.
They immediately want to kill her for not wearing, for not covering her face, and for wearing men's clothes, and for speaking. So that's where this episode goes. God, I hate it so. I hate this episode because it's so stupid.
Justin, do you want to continue?
I can continue a little bit, but
I won't Yatsu to continue because I'm just going to sit here groaning instead of summarizing.
It's not so much like there's not so much. Yeah. So the quick summary is essentially they convince the tribe leader to not kill her because she saved they saved her son or his son. They then go back to town where at that point she's more or less just wearing what the tribe's people wear to just appease them. At which point the son then kidnaps her and tries to human traffic her. So at that point you're like, well, this kid's a piece of shit. They try to redeem him in a way by saying, well, he's only doing it because he loves the opposing tribe's daughter. I don't know if that really lands. At which point you get a few moments between you get a couple of moments between like Shang Tsung and Carter where she's kind of just like, like I could kick your ass sort of thing. It all basically just leads up to more or less just a fight to the death between Carter and Shang Tsung, where Carter wins. She doesn't kill him, and then everything's great.
It was between Carter and it wasn't the kid. It was between Carter and
Shang Tsung. Yeah, the opposing chieftain.
Okay, because the way you've been describing it, it sounds like Shang Tsung was the kid. He's not. No. That's just some actor.
Funny trivia: that kid would be a Power Ranger a couple years after this episode.
Really? Which Power Ranger series?
Thunder Navy. He played Thunder Navy Ranger, and I think 1 or 2 of the turn of the century Power Ranger shows.
Jorgito Vargas Jr.
Yeah. So Power Ranger human traffics.
Power Ranger human traffics.
Listen, wouldn't be the worst thing a Power Ranger did.
Sure.
But everything is just an excuse to have Carter knife fight a Mongol warlord at the end.
And wear a dress for most of the episode, I guess.
And also showed cleavage for most of the episode, yes.
Yeah. Not a very
they They put
not
her
a
in this
very nice
dress.
dress.
No,
It looks
it's
like a
not.
Renaissance fair dress that they found in the back of a closet.
It probably was. It probably
Yeah.
was.
And they make her wear this thing, and the character is very clearly uncomfortable with this whole thing, while all the men are sitting back going, "I don't know, this is kind of funny," and I'm like, "No." And then that kid, for one, at the end of this episode, Carter beats a much bigger man who was supposed to be much more experienced in combat, in melee combat with only a knife.
With a K-bar.
Yeah. And you're telling me that she's not able to overpower this kid who is like much smaller and not experienced in fighting anything?
I mean, he took her by surprise in the middle of the night.
Sure, but
And then once she came to, she just like realized who it was and then tried to talk him out of it, like do things peacefully.
Okay, but when you can't talk a guy out of kidnapping you and you're able to fight, I don't know.
Why don't you just kick his ass?
Why didn't she just kick his ass?
See, she's clairvoyant. She knew he was doing it for a wholesome reason. Like there must be some reason why this poor fool is trying to traffic me, you know?
These people are playing volleyball with an idiot ball for the entire for the rest of these episodes, but this is the worst one. I do feel like at some point you'd think that they'd turn the Stargate back on, go back through and say, hey, we need some more troops. You could bring in a squad and like overpower anybody in this Mongolian realm, rescue your guy. And I don't know. I feel like if America actually had a Stargate and the other side of it was just a bunch of people with very little power, we'd be like free real estate.
Probably.
American imperialism would be in full effect once more.
Absolutely. I do appreciate how the man, or I guess the Shang Tsung decided gun worth more than woman.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
that was
that's one of two bits of this episode that I think are pretty good. Is when he gives that guy the gun, and then they're leaving, and they trade a gun for Carter towards the end of the episode, and while they're leaving, O'Neill says that gun only has 5 bullets left. We need to go now.
Yes. The solution to all my problems is gun.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's literally written down in my notes. Solution to all life's problems, gun.
I think that's what the military is there for, though. Like, gun is the solution.
Yes.
You know, the weird thing about this is, do they really establish what they're just basically on exploration missions, right? Or like scouting missions?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. They're just scouting around at this point. They have all of those gate addresses that Jackson found in Abydos, so they're just going down the list, looking around.
So another thing that bugged me about this is clearly in the movie, in the first episode, Jackson was established as a expert in ancient Egypt, and now he knows a good bit about ancient Mongolia. And then later on, he's going to be an expert on a whole bunch of other civilizations.
Sure,
I wouldn't say expert, just knowledgeable.
I'm gonna pop up here and say someone who is an expert in one ancient society probably has some interest in the other ancient societies and probably knows at least a little something about everything.
Yeah,
they're basically watching the History Channel on repeat.
Well, it's you have to have like a history degree, like in ancient civilizations, so like a bachelor level education, and like these things in general, and then you specialize in ancient Egypt.
But so like this group of people that they meet are called the Shavadai, and then he like immediately links it back to a ancient Mongolian tribe.
The Shavadai weren't they the Mongol dynasty? Oh wait, hold on, let me.
Yeah, I think they make a note of them saying like these are direct descendants of
Genghis Khan.
Chagadai. Yeah. Well.
Yeah,
it just seemed a little bit. It's like, okay, we're going to be changing his role now. And another thing is the way the episode began. Abu, or the prince of, or
Abu, yeah.
yeah, he's being chased by dogs. Just
Oh,
randomly.
I was going to Chagatai. Yeah, Chagatai were literally the ruling dynasty of the Mongol Empire. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specifically, he was being chased by German shepherds, who we all know came from space.
I did want to comment on the cheapest looking dog attack scene.
If you can bring humans through the gate, I don't see why you can't bring dogs through the gate.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, dog breeds were invented in the 1800s.
Yeah.
So it's funny. That's why it's funny. Also, like if you're here in the Vancouver area, and you need to hire some stunt dogs, they're all going to be German shepherds.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Also, this is like the first of the starting trend of, hey, just all these people on these different planets, they all just speak English. Like they don't even try to do that anymore.
Every single gate is set in the same part of British Columbia.
We'll
they
get
explain
to that.
They actually explain that, sort of.
Yeah, there's handling. The Gould they terraformed all these planets.
They terraformed all the planets, so that's why everything looks like Canada.
Yeah. Definitely wouldn't look more like Egypt or something, right? Where the gate started. Because this gate is the one that they found in Egypt, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But they've moved it to the US and they're going to different places. They did say that Abydos was an exception to.
Yeah, they dropped that line somewhere in these episodes.
You're just like, I guess Abydos was an exception. I don't know.
Yeah. They mentioned that in the First Commandment episode, but
okay.
Yeah, continue.
But yeah, this has big people running around in someone's field, and dressed up in outfits vibe that you would get from like cheap sci-fi fantasy movies or TV shows of the 80s and 90s and aughts. Which fills me with nostalgia. There's something nostalgic about that for me. It's like, yeah, this is like Hercules or Xena, where like you're just in like in someone's field somewhere, running around in silly outfits.
Yeah.
Except you can tell there's more budget here from Showtime because they have those horses, they have like a good number of extras. Slightly higher budget than your typical Hercules or Xena thing.
Didn't the Xena show wind up having a way bigger budget than the Hercules show? Because Lucy Liu is a better actress and more attractive actress than what's his face?
Than Kevin Sorbo. Look, we can talk about Andromeda if you want, but we won't. But yeah, so real big, like people in silly outfits running around in the middle of the woods, like Ren Fair fantasy movie type of thing. Which again is very nostalgic. And just so the ancient steppe peoples had a reputation for being relatively sexually egalitarian compared to the surrounding cultures, China, Persia, the Islamic Caliphates, Europe. For the ancient and medieval era. So them doing this big women's liberation thing for Carter to do, but it's space Mongolians who weren't the ones who were the most oppressive in in the various time periods that steppe peoples were around. Is where and again, like they explain it, they try to explain it a little bit because at first in the episode I was like, oh, these stupid sons of but then they try to explain it by saying, oh no, we adapted our culture because the ghouls would come through the gate and just steal our women all the time, so we started hiding them away, and that's how these
that woman's hot
happened.
Let's take her.
Yeah,
I mean, you saw the pilot episode.
Yeah. That's literally what Apophis was doing. He's literally just traveling around looking for hot chicks. Am I wrong?
And dudes. Skaro was taken.
At least they acknowledged the cultural divergence there. And Forest Mongols is not I think there are people of the steppe. The steppe It's not British Columbia. But again, because their ancestors were picked up and deposited there, cultural divergence, all that, they at least hand wave at it.
The one thing they don't hand wave is they speak English, but
whatever. That one you just like. Well, I mean, they kind of do. Like the guy walks up at the beginning, and Jackson O'Neill are like, "Oh, we have to do this pantomiming with languages again." The guy starts speaking English. Like, okay, sure.
And they seem just as surprised, and then they're like, "Whatever, fine."
You know what makes things easier?
To be fair, that would probably be my reaction too. Like, I'm not going to question it. I'll let somebody else figure that out. So one thing I found out in my research of this episode, and I found out other people disliked it as much as I did, is this has the same writer as a Star Trek Next Generation episode called Code of Honor. Do you know what that episode is, Borgmaster?
That was a Klingon episode. Was that an early Klingon episode?
It's like the 4th episode of that show. My understanding is that episode has a very similar story to this one.
Oh no, wait, that's not a Klingon episode, that's that episode. Oh geez, it's that episode. Oh no.
Something about tribal nonsense. I don't know what's going on.
All right, so replace Mongols with West Africans and replace Carter with Tasha Yar, and you basically have that episode.
Okay, yeah, it's the same writer. I don't.
Oh no! See, I keep forgetting this episode exists because I intentionally memory hole it.
Is that writer Michael Barron or is it Catherine Powers?
It's Catherine Powers. And
so
Michael
Catherine
Barron apparently
Powers
was
wrote
involved.
the episode where the woman gets human trafficked twice.
Yeah, she wrote the same story twice.
French kiss, fantastic.
Yeah, either she has a formula or she has a thing, and I'm not sure which one, and I don't want to know.
Oh, she actually has several SG-1 episodes which are better than this. So I guess once she got that out of her system.
Yeah, once you show up on the sci-fi show, you got to do the weird like human trafficking episode, and then you can move on with it. You could use your real ideas.
She wrote several SG-1. Actually, she has written a lot of SG-1 episodes.
Yeah, and some of them are good. So
yeah, well, we will see.
She got this out of her system, I guess.
What do you guys think of if you were to say like whose episode is this? This really is
it's Carter's episode.
It's Carter's episode. Does it do a good job of like establishing her at all?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
No, it establishes that she can fight eventually, which that's probably a good thing to get out of the way. That she's not just a scientist like Daniel Jackson, who does not seem to be able to do much fighting, which is fine. But also, they've done it in the worst episode they could.
Yeah. They're basically establishing her as like, I'm the all-rounded one. I could do a little bit of fighting, a little bit of science.
Here's the thing. I know this show gets pretty good. But if I didn't know anything about this show and I had made it through the movie and up to this point, I'd probably be seriously questioning if I want to continue. And I'm not saying that because I think all of what I've seen is bad. I just think this episode would have been enough to make me seriously go, I don't want to continue. That's not true. Knowing what I know about the show, I do want to continue watching it. And I do think the rest of the episodes are maybe not amazing, but I did enjoy them to some degree. But yeah, this episode sucks. Anyway, we don't need to hang on to it anymore.
I mean, there's some stuff here. So our counter of episodes since Orientalism gets set to 0. We will update we will count up from here.
It took 3 episodes, but we're finally here.
I do want to. I made a perhaps very tasteless joke last time about them going around the universe being the saviors of everything. How much of the show consists of that?
Not much.
Okay,
they're still figuring it out. They're still figuring it out
because they're still doing the first movies thing of we're going through the Stargate and finding all of these people that have the technology of 1,000 years ago. So
yeah, And it's not like they necessarily solve the Mongolian problem in this episode. If you were to name it something,
the Mongolian problem.
Like,
that's a poor phrasing, but yes,
you're right. It's poor phrasing, but like, essentially, like their culture is still the culture. They've just more or less saved this one girl, right?
And they made it okay for this one tribe to just cut it out.
Yeah, like the one tribe maybe will cut it out.
I mean, no, I think the actual thing that would happen is the guy who's been the bad guy of this show. Once they leave, the bad guy of this show is going to raid and destroy the place
good
they
tribe.
were at. Yeah, the good tribe. Yeah, like that good tribe is just gone.
Well, thankfully, we never hear from these tribes people again. So
yeah, we can pretend that everything went well.
Yeah, everything's fine. Shang Tsung definitely didn't show up and say, your souls are mine, and slaughter the entire village. Everyone lived happily ever after. And they finally got new dresses that didn't look like they were from a Renaissance fair.
And we will never come back to this planet ever again in a future season.
But we will come back to this field they shot it in.
Oh, so many times.
Yeah. I mean, really, this was meant to be the Samantha Carter episode, but with the last line in the show, Teal kind of just steals the whole episode. It's a banger of a quote.
Let's just say the quote.
You're gonna have to say it then. You can't bring it up and not say it.
Well, it's a back and forth. There's like a step and a punchline here.
Yeah. So basically, to set the final moment of the episode, our four heroes are walking back to the Stargate, and Colonel O'Neill makes the remark, guess I'll have to cancel that Oprah interview. And Teal'c, in his stoic fashion, asks, what is an Oprah? Pan out.
And then the Looney Tunes theme plays and credits start rolling.
Yeah.
Well, it's because there's like some medicinal plant they were into briefly on the planet, and they're like, oh, we'll take a sample of this back. And they're bantering about like, hey, so who's this plant can be named after when we get back? Well, we'll have to find a scientist to do that because we can't divulge that we found it. And that's what O'Neill says. Oh darn, I'll have to cancel that Oprah interview.
They completely forget about that whole plant though. It's supposed to be like a painkiller.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the best painkillers ever, and then it just drops from the episode.
I mean, like they probably hand it off to the area to like whoever, and then someone else deals with it.
Yeah. See, you say that, but in my headcanon, those plants were just fentanyl.
It's like naturally growing fentanyl.
Hooray! Ooh boy, no wonder they're so happy all the time.
I do want to say that Kerry Hiroyuki Tagawa, Shang Tsung, is too good of an actor for this episode.
Yeah, like he's not given very much to work with.
He just sneers the entire episode like a Oscar-worthy sneer.
Yeah, he's trying, but it's like his face is literally covered in shit. Basically, like what can you do?
There is one fun line. So after SG-1 goes to the village where Carter was human trafficked, they buy her back with a gun. Everyone gets changed back into their normal outfits. And it's like, and then there's a whole thing where Shang Tsung has to publicly execute his daughter because she ran off to join the idiot boy. And so Carter wants to go and rescue the girl. So they all show back up there, and the good chieftain who's with them invokes some ancient law about doing mortal combat, you could say, to resolve disputes.
Yeah, what if they tested their might?
And then the guy's like, well, I'm not going to fight a crippled old man. That's an insult. And then Carter walks up and says, well, you can fight me. And I think Shang Tsung's quote is, you plague me, when he sees her, which is pretty good.
It's funny, like they try to give him a couple of moments where they're like, is he human? Is he not? Because like there's that whole moment where his daughter's like please, and he's like, I love you, but I don't think he necessarily says it.
He leans in and he says,
he's like, I forgive you.
And then he's like, yeah, we're still gonna stone you, by the way.
Yeah, it's like a
like
weird thing.
like the tradition demands it kind of thing.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, I'm not sure
So,
what they're trying to paint, but I mean, we never see him again, unfortunately. Like, this actor in the show, I think, would have been good. Not this character, but you know,
could have been.
He would have been much better off like playing a Goa'uld, like true antagonist role, like Apophis, or
yeah. But I don't think they had the money for that.
probably not, but he would have been great in that role.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes, Mister Too Good
Are
for the
we-
show. A couple of production notes I want to say. Did anyone spot the fake llama?
I wasn't
did
paying
not.
attention to the fake llama.
I wasn't looking for a fake llama. Is this like a running thing that fake llamas keep showing up?
No, I just noticed towards the beginning of the episode when they're going to like the good guy village and just doing the panning shot in the foreground as it's panning across. There's like an obviously fake llama. I just noticed the fake llama. I guess it's like that social experiment with the guy in the gorilla suit on the basketball court.
Sure. Is this like cardboard cutout, or are we just talking like a dog dressed like a llama?
No, it's like it's like a prop. Like it's not like a stuffed llama, but it's like a prop with like some fuzz on it, and like it's very obviously like a life size fake llama that someone had from somewhere.
Yeah, they got it at the Renaissance Fair.
I just thought that was fun.
I never would have spotted that.
I need
Like,
to look. I
I'm-
need to look for this now.
I'll drop it in our Discord chat.
Yeah, I'll pull a screen grab later and put it in our new.
We got to be
Discord
careful with
channel.
visual references on an audio medium.
It's a word picture.
Yeah.
Just imagine a fake llama.
Yeah, imagine a fake llama. Do the Winamp theme, and then just say it really whips the llama's ass, and he gets sad that software is basically dead.
And then another thing, that ending joke where they're walking towards the Stargate with the backs to the camera, that was obvious ADR. That was the most obvious ADR possible.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna make a habit of pointing out the obvious ADR when I see it.
Yeah, I mean they don't have the wireless mics. When they're walking away from the camera, they're going to use ADR every single time.
But that's the last of my notes for this episode. This one's a mess. It's also the lowest rated episode on IMDb for season 1.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like worst episodes of a sci-fi series, I don't think it holds a candle to some other ones, but it's not great.
No, it's pretty bad. There's a worse. Code of Honor is a worse episode than this
Yeah,
because you didn't get a sick knife fight, or that knife fight isn't as cool because it's not an Air Force officer knife fighting a Mongol warlord.
yeah, you could say that. Like when this writer made it the second time, they improved a little bit.
Yes.
You know, baby steps. By the third time she does it, ooh boy, is it gonna hit.
And now we're on to another, from one problem to another problem. A very different problem this time. The Broca Divide. Who wants to summarize this one?
I say you take this one, Borgmaster.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It seemed you had the most interest in this episode out of all of us in our group chat, so take it away.
Okay. They go to a planet. The area around the Stargate is very dark. They find some cavemen. They get attacked by cave. So it's SG-1, SG-3 go through this planet, hoping there's some connection between the planet that Pavas went through at the end of episode 1. Some of the coordinates line up, so they're just testing things out, going through. SG-1 gets jumped by cavemen. SG-3, who are all shithead Marines, are there. They find some people who are not cavemen living outside the forest where it's very sunny. And they're kind of Minoan, let's say. There's a disease on the world that turns people into cavemen and cave women. And the whole picture of the side we get is based around that. So the cavemen in the forest are like, I guess a leper colony. I think is a reference is used at one point.
Yeah, I think they referenced that one. I guess he's their leader. I don't know if you want to call him the chief or the planet's leader or whatever the heck. His daughter was basically, I mean, for
Right,
lack of a better term, was like in a real bad spot, like straight up cavemen tossing around. It's like, oh, something horrible's about to happen. But then they stop it. those guys show up, and they kind of just put her in a corner, saying, "Oh, we got to see if she's got the touch first." They don't really explain what the touch is, and like the team kind of just brushes it off. They're like, "Oh, that's weird."
Well, O'Neill brushes it off. Jackson's like, "Hey, we need to stay here and like find out what's going on." And O'Neill's like, "Not the mission. We're getting out of here." So they get back. They have some arguments about like what their role is, and I guess the president agrees with Jackson. So they're going to be more of like a cultural studying from now on, which will immediately bite them in the ass, as we will see.
It should be noted that O'Neill at this point, when he says "let's go back," he seems to sense that something seriously wrong is up.
Maybe.
I got the
didn't get
sense that he was supposed to, because he seemed like he was scared of something. At least it seemed like that to me.
I didn't get
something
that.
might be wrong.
To me, it felt like he was more or less just indifferent about what that planet was. It's like, well, this was weird. One side of the planet's dark, one side of the planet's light, and yeah.
I just he doesn't ever seem that interested in running back to base in the other episodes.
So, I mean, their mission profile changes after this episode. Is the stuff with Hammond?
That's true.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Enough.
I mean, I just kind of chalked it up to him being like, "Hey, these people have really nothing to offer us. They don't have cool like staffs that fire lasers out of them.
Yeah, they don't have fentanyl.
Let's just go home. They have cavemen. We don't need caveman."
Yeah, unfortunately, oh boy, do we get cavemen.
Yeah, so they go back. Turns out they've all been infected with the caveman virus. SG-3 starts turning into cavemen. SG-1 starts turning into cavemen. Other people in the base start turning into cavemen and cave women. So we will get to the details.
You forgot to mention something they named early in the episode.
Well, something they named
the episode's namesake.
We will get to the details.
Okay.
So Teal'c and Jackson are the only ones not infected. I guess the new doctor, Janet Fraser, she will be around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
They're not infected. They don't know why. So Jackson and Teal'c go back to the planet, try to get some blood samples from the people on the light side. They get jumped by cavemen. Jackson gets carried off because I think they find the city chief's daughter in the woods because I guess she wasn't infected, so they just put her back. He
tries to rescue her, and that slows him down enough to get dragged away.
Yeah, by the cavemen. Teal'c's like, this is fucked. He tries to get the blood sample, but he fails the charisma check. Knocks out two random guards in the city. Takes their blood. Goes back. They figure out the cure, which is very stupid. We'll get to the details. Everyone in the base gets cured, and they go back through the gate one more time with Tranks. Trank all the cavemen they see, rescue Daniel, establish diplomatic relations with the fake Minoans and the lie. It's like, hey, we can cure this disease. It's a disease, not a curse, and we can cure it, and we can all be cool.
Yeah, let's be cool. Don't worry. Don't check on your daughter in 9 months. Everything's probably fine.
It's probably fine.
Yeah, probably fine. We don't know.
So that's the high level summary of the episode. So getting into the details.
Are we not going to go over the part where Carter basically, like under the influence of the disease in question, basically sexually assaults O'Neill?
That is a scene when the whole base is starting to go caveman. She goes cave woman.
Yeah, there's like so many like weird moments that happen in this.
Yeah.
Did anyone like the part where Richard Dean Anderson does his best pterodactyl impression?
No.
His I'm turning into a caveman thing, actually, I think turns out is pretty good. I didn't hate this episode. There is a reason to hate it, which we will get into, but I don't know. I found it kind of interesting. I also got a small chuckle when they that super Benadryl is the cure to the disease.
Yeah, turns out if they just had Claritin the whole time, everyone would have been fine.
Yeah, too bad they didn't have that in 28 days later.
Yeah, see, this is why I bring up they should have given him the horse pills.
All right, yeah. So we'll get to that first. The plot twist is the reason why Jackson and Teal'c never gets infected with anything, unless it's specifically for Jaffa. the reason why Jackson and Dr. Frazier weren't infected is because they were on hella strong antihistamines, and the virus uses histamines in the body, I guess.
I'm glad they found another way to bring back Jackson's allergies instead of just letting that particular plot point disappear.
Or have him sneeze every time they go through a Stargate. Because that just get tired real quick.
Actually, he's been taking like allergy shots for this, like the hard stuff. So then they just give everyone allergy shots.
And that's the solution. Is
Yeah, they don't start a quarantine process. They're like, well, just everyone take Benadryl before and after you leave. It should be fine.
It's not okay. To clarify, it's not Benadryl. It's like, I don't know if it's an actual allergy medicine or not, but they give us some kind of fancy scientific name. It's not Benadryl actually.
Oh yeah, I forget what name they used, but like it's like the allergy shots so that you can.
Yeah, the most unrealistic thing about this allergy shot is it doesn't make you drowsy and it doesn't drink. So
you're already cut out. Oh,
it doesn't actually. It doesn't make you drowsy and it doesn't drain you of energy. As someone with, or at least used to have, bad allergies and who occasionally has to take some allergy medicine, I wish I could find something that didn't do one of those two things to me.
That's why you should drink energy drinks every day.
Yeah,
to exactly. Become the monster, not the caveman, just like the monster.
I drink tons of coffee, which probably doesn't help.
Close enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this episode's weird.
Yeah, so the sci-fi twist at the end is that this disease is cured by antihistamines.
Yeah.
Which I can't comment on that.
That's not the worst.
That's not
just like a really logistically, this is a weird planet because it's a planet where the sun doesn't move or it doesn't rotate or whatever the heck. So it's literally just there's the dark side and the light side of the planet.
Yeah.
So there are like actual planets like out in the universe that they don't spin on their axis. But here's the thing: you wouldn't have a clear line of demarcation where it's light and it's dark. Like if you're walking from the dark side to the light, it would be like walking into a sunrise, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It would also, the other thing we should bring up here is on planets like that, if one of them is in like the habitable zone of a sun, there's going to be a strip sort of around the middle of the planet that is habitable. The side facing the sun is going to be really, really hot, and the other side is going to be really, really cold, unlivably hot and unlivably cold on both sides. It's not going to be, this BC forest at night and this BC forest during the day.
So the way that in my head I've always justified their obvious visual metaphor is in certain parts of North America, the way the trees grow, if the forests don't burn down, the trees will grow up and then self-pruningly grow up, and you get like a very thick canopy really high up in the air that blocks out a lot of light.
So that actually becomes a plot point in a different episode.
But so to me, it's like, okay, these trees are really tall and they have really thick upper canopies. So it's just blocking out all the sunlight, and then the area you see outside is like they're casting shadows down.
Yeah, there's no trees out there.
Yeah, there's no trees, but like the trees are nearby, so it's just like really long shadows. Maybe that's the closest I can get to justifying their visual metaphor.
Sure,
it's still a stretch.
Yeah. And it's fine. They probably didn't have much budget at this point.
Yeah,
clearly not.
I give them props for at least thinking of the idea. Right? Not every planet they go to is going to be an Earth lookalike.
They're trying to mix things up when they only have this one forest to film in, which is good. But in general, I think this episode is much better than the previous one. But there's one big glaring elephant in the room that I'm going to let Borgmaster talk about.
Okay, so the Broca Divide.
Uh-huh.
It's named after some pseudoscientific horseshit. which for an episode, I mean, for a TV series based on a movie that drew inspiration from Chariots of the Gods, pseudoscientific horseshit is probably to be expected. And as long as they do a good job of scrubbing the inherent racism of the thing they're referencing, because all these cavemen are like, because everyone involved except for I guess Teal'c is white, and also that one Marine. So they don't, and like they turn to Neanderthals. It's like very obvious.
Oh, that's one thing. That's one thing I want to make a joke about real quick. They do physically change. Everybody gets a unibrow by the last half of the show.
Yeah,
this episode, which is very funny.
Think of that big Neanderthal frontal ridge, and it doesn't look. Anyway, so the Broca Divide. They did try to explain the episode name in like one or two lines, based off of the theories of one Paul Broca, a Frenchman, which you already know this is bad, from the 1800s, an early. He was a physician, anatomist, anthropologist. You know, all scientists back then were wearing multiple hats. He discovered the part of the brain where language happens, and that's named after him. He also invented a whole lot of stuff for craniology. Craniometry, which I guess turned into craniology by the time the Nazis got their hands on it. Basically measuring skulls and trying to see if that meant anything. And he was really big on using skull shapes to justify intelligence between different ethnic groups. Let's say. He took part in the 19th century scientific race theory that got crafted. There's a medical and scientific basis, in sneer quotes, for why black people are lesser and white people are the best humans. Exceptionally racist. Like there's racist, and then there's racist. This is.
There's
the Nazis would have loved this guy.
There's the bad jokes your uncle makes, and then there's somebody the Nazis appreciate.
Yeah,
which are both racism, but one is way more likely to result in genocide or something along those lines.
This is a guy with actual, scientific and medical credentials, because he discovered a part of the brain that is still named after him. And he was going around and saying that, oh yes, the different races of humans evolved independently of each other. And Europeans evolved from better apes, and everyone else evolved from worse apes. And that's why the Europeans should be masters of the world. Like, as racist as you possibly can be, was this guy. Like, he's so racist that his contemporaries called him out for being racist in the 1800s.
That's pretty racist.
Like, it is a shocking amount of racism. Just underpinning everything to do with the whole, like, measuring everything about this guy, and like the Broca Divide, where it's like, oh, the missing link between humans and apes. Like, how do you get from I guess the like early Homo species to Homo sapiens?
The most frustrating thing about this episode is that you could have made pretty much this exact same story and just cut out like a line or two of dialogue and just not even brought that up at all.
You could have, yeah. But the person writing this wanted to do something with like the missing link theory.
They read something credited. They read something somewhere and felt really smart reading it, so they really wanted to bring it up.
They read something really bad somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it I wonder if someone like got most of this episode written and then someone else was like, no, you can't do this. And then they just had to, they didn't have enough time to come up with a new story. So they just spent time scrubbing it. I don't know. But the end result is like, if you can forget about the whole Broca thing, it's fine as 90s sci-fi, but
as like there's a virus that turns into a caveman, and the cure is allergy medicine. Like that,
yeah.
like that's fine as a silly TV episode.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't need to bring 19th century race theory into it.
Yeah, I think they get away with it because most people don't know what that is at all.
Which is good.
In the 90s, like I don't think Wikipedia existed in the 90s, and
Sure
of course
No,
we didn't.
You would have had to go to encyclopedia.
You would have had to go find
called?
this.
Encarta?
Encarta.
Yeah, well, there's
Yeah.
Encarta, but like in general, you had to go to
Or
a library
Britannica.
and start looking for the Broca Divide, which would have eventually led you to Paul Broca. If you are that dedicated to figuring out what this one line of dialogue in the middle of this episode means, then you've probably already made up your mind on whether you agree with this guy or not. But in 2025, when you can just look it up immediately,
and just be like, oh,
yeah, people. I think more people are going to be like, ugh.
Yeah.
And also, I think this episode is even more skippable than the previous one. Like, I think Emancipation is a worse episode, but at least it like solidifies something about one character that Carter can fight. This doesn't do anything important.
Yeah,
So-
this literally feels like a filler episode.
So this introduces SG-3, your Jarhead Marines, who are now down one member. Because I think one of the two guys that fell out of that window in that one stunt is dead.
Oh yeah. By the way, more people die in this episode than any other episode thus that we've watched,
Well, no.
except for the first one.
Untrue. We will get to that. Yeah. So they lose a member of SG-3 when they all start going caveman. There's a good bit. The first guy to go caveman tries to attack Teal'c, and Teal'c just immediately and effortlessly restrains him, and is like,
And he's
"Hey,
like-
what should I do with this guy?"
He says, "I do not want to hurt this man," which
which is good. I guess
Yeah.
we point out the Teal'c moments when we get them.
Listen, Teal'c might be my favorite character so far.
He's going to remain your favorite character.
Oh, he's hilarious. He has another banger
He's-
line in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that whole bit where it's like, we will scare them with the
Oh.
guns, and Daniel's like trying to say like, I'm in trouble, and then he's just gone, and he turns around and he's like, oh,
Even that's
lost
pretty
Daniel.
good. That's pretty good. But there's another bit where they finally cure O'Neill, who, by the way, one thing we forget to mention, they're able to give O'Neill enough sedative while he's sick, I guess, to make him docile, and he's able to understand spoken word and sort of able to speak himself, which is how they're able to administer the cure in the first place. When he does finally wake up, he bangs on his prison door, and Teal'c opens the window and he says, "Lucy, I'm home." And there's a good 30 seconds where both people are very confused.
It looks like I'm not Lucy. I'll get a doctor.
And then
He's
O'Neill's
like, no,
like,
I'm me. I'm making reference to a TV show. And he's like, what's a TV show? He's like, okay, well, just let me out.
he's like,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
forget
going to
about
let you out. You called me Lucy. You're clearly not well.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good bit. I mean, in his defense, I'm not sure who to defend in this.
Christopher Judge, very good at playing a stoic character who still has character.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But I think the last time Teal'c opened up that window, it was literally just O'Neill screeing or like scrawling like some sort of dinosaur at the window.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you gotta at least
his-
notice some improvement there, buddy.
His like, for lack of a better word, caveman voice actually was kind of unsettling to me. Like, it's silly, but it's still like, this guy's fucked.
I think he did a good job when they're doing the bit where he's kind of trying to fight through it, and he's saying like, "No, like you got to test it on me first,"
Yeah,
sort of
like
thing. Because he doesn't want to risk the other men. Like it's sort of trying to show what his character is kind of like, right?
yeah.
Whereas before, it just felt like he didn't know what a caveman sounded like, so we just started making dinosaur noises.
Yeah.
You never saw MacGyver try to make a pterodactyl sound.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
Not that I know of.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I do think it's skippable if you can't get over the Broca thing.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean,
and
it's
he-
base infection episode, one of many.
Mhm.
You're kind of, for me personally, like these episodes where they bring back some sort of contagion and it runs rampant through the base. It gets tired pretty quickly. And in terms of lore, we basically established that Teal'c's symbiote makes him nearly immune to all forms of contagions. And that's something that will come back to multiple times during the series.
Sure. So I guess that's the important thing. I mean, even the stuff with Hammond, he's just kind of like, well, locking this shit down. I'm going to tell the president, yo, if you see anyone leaving the perimeter, you just need to shoot us. Just like straight up shoot us.
and then burn the body. He's like he asked the president to bring in an armored division, which I don't know what the armor would do. You want like a dismounted infantry division.
Yeah, which
Figure
theoretically,
DACA.
like they would have done because they weren't sure if they were going to make it. So this takes place in Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Outside
imagine
Colorado
like being a
Springs.
citizen of Colorado and suddenly like a shit ton of the National Guard just shows up. You're like, what's going on?
Borgmaster, this is the U.S. military. There is no such thing as overkill.
That's true.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So in my head, all of these base emergencies that require like the full quarantine procedure, because again, NORAD is like 20 floors above the SGC. Can always keep that in mind. Like all these full base lockdowns have to like surround the mountain with military personnel, and they have to like cover it up with like training exercises. So like all of these conspiracy theories that people would have about like military training exercises. Just imagine that'd be so much worse in this universe because they're all, like at least once or twice a year, like full divisions of guys are just going to Colorado, just one spot in Colorado, and doing exercises.
Are you telling me that in the Stargate universe, not the show, but like just this general universe, we've got some kid Naruto running towards the giant base?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Anyway, right. So
Hammond's thought on Hammond's thought on that is like, yeah, shoot that kid.
anything else on this episode, or
I mean, nothing important, I don't think.
Oh yeah, you go first, and then I'll buy notes.
I was just gonna swing back to Terrell Rossi playing Dr. Janet Fraser. This was kind of like her first episode, and she kind of gets shoved into the background a little bit. But she's going to be a reoccurring character, and we're gonna get to. She's going to get more screen time as the show goes on, and
I feel like I had a pretty good idea of who she is by the end of this episode.
Yeah, because she was like the smart one in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sort of. She does keep going into prison cells with prisoners who are violent.
Yeah. I mean, she has a very clear defined role in, in the base, but overall first impressions were very positive.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does end up being kind of like the sixth, I guess, title character, like unofficial sixth title character.
Yeah.
Seventh.
Yeah. So I guess this is more or less the establish the Doctor episode sort of deal.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Except the Doctor doesn't play nearly as big a role in this series as, let's say, like a Star Trek would, right?
Yeah.
No.
So, go ahead.
Oh no, because I was going to go through my production notes.
Oh, go ahead. I forgot you do those already.
Okay, so let's all give appreciation for the window stunt they do with this two SG-3 guys wrestle each other out of the like 2-story window into the gate room.
Yeah, I guess it's a pretty good stunt for a TV show that didn't have much budget at this point.
I mean, for doing a window stunt in a low budget TV show is always probably sketchy for the guys doing it. So props to them. Also, I don't know if I should bring it up. The scene where Carter goes cave woman on O'Neill. The tank top she's wearing. This is I guess this is a Showtime detail where you can tell it's still a Showtime show. She's not wearing a bra.
Very clearly.
Very clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's so again. There's just a little bit of Showtime coming through here still.
Mm-hmm.
When they earlier in the episode when they first go to the Minoan, I guess, meeting hall area, in the untouched place, and there's that wide shot of the hall, and they're in the distance, and O'Neill and Carter are bantering about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's very obvious. Just the way the audio is done, it's very obvious ADR.
I mean, here's the thing about ADR, the ADR stuff. I feel like if you're watching this, I feel like if you're watching this in 1997, your TV speakers are probably not great. B, you're used to this because this is the way TV shows just sounded at the time with dialogue.
You're not supposed to notice it. Contemporary Star Trek, you don't notice it.
Yeah, I didn't notice
other
it.
shows.
I didn't personally notice it at the time. I didn't personally notice it when I was watching it. One of a thing here when it comes to voices in TV shows and movies these days, a lot of times they have a problem with leveling. So when you can clearly hear voices, I just don't notice it. The only time I ever notice serious ADR issues is when I can't hear what people are fucking saying.
I guess I've seen all these episodes enough that
this is the first time I've seen this episode. I didn't hear anything or didn't notice anything off.
All right, and then the last thing in the beginning when they find the cavemen and the girl from the Minoan settlement, who obviously hasn't turned yet, but they don't know what's going on. I guess they have a kind of like a prime directive, ethical debate there for a minute or so of should we do something or is it not our business? And this scene in this episode coming after the one where O'Neill traded a gun for a woman, does make it seem like these are out of order from what was intended.
I'm gonna guess that they don't care about the that as much.
Oh no, yeah, they eventually go on the side of we don't care about the prime directive.
Which is more realistic.
Yeah, but them being in the process of figuring that out, an episode after O'Neill trades a gun for a woman to a Mongol warlord, that does make it seem like these are out of order.
I also think that the prime directive it's maybe less important when all of the aliens are just humans, if that makes any sense.
It is, but the fact that they have that that short debate in this episode at the beginning.
Yeah. All right.
Makes it seem like they still haven't figured that out yet. When in the previous episode, it seems like they had already decided on how they're going to handle it. So just some story ordering issue there. That's my does for that. We're at an hour and a half. Let's mosey on over to the First Commandment, episode 5.
Yep. Fucking Shakespeare in comparison to the previous two.
Yeah, this is definitely a step up of the other ones that we've been watching. Yeah,
it's still got a serious idiot ball problem, but
yeah, it also has a character actor who's way too good for this, playing the villain.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you about a show called Boy Meets World. Hell of a show on TGI Fridays. Stars that one kid, I forget his name, related to that other kid from the Wonder Years.
Is that where the Coreys come from?
I guess. I don't know.
No, the Corey was the first name of the son in Boy Meets World.
Oh no, I mean like the two actors,
Oh.
the two Corys. Is that where they came from, or is that a different show?
Hmm.
I'm confused.
Listener, if you know, you can tell us in the Discord. Where the
Yeah,
two
you could tell
Corys
us how much of a better show The Wonder Years is to Stargate SG-1, and we'd probably agree, but also, who watches The Wonder Years anymore?
All
Clearly no
right,
one.
so who wants to summarize this? Can this be summarized easily?
Yeah, it's Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, that's. Have you seen Apocalypse Now? This is that, but quite a bit shorter. Also, well, I should probably. One of the plot points of this episode is that the planet they travel to is its days are supposed to be unbearably hot, and the sun is supposed to be like the radiation from the sun is supposed to hit people during the day a lot worse than on Earth. They must have filmed it on a cloudy day in BC though, because visually it really doesn't deliver that.
They do
Yeah,
say
I mean,
that raining clouds and tree cover don't matter. The UV is just that strong.
yeah.
They do
And
say
they're
They
out in the
mentioned
day
that they
a
would
lot
be cooked
anyway.
alive if, like multiple times, if they're out in the sun too long. But they spend plenty of this episode in the sun, so it's just kind of
Yeah.
like a plot point that they more or less forget about.
they
They
went
more or
there
less
too
show
long.
it by doing some very bad makeup, which just looks. It makes it look like
Yeah.
everyone's got acne.
Yeah.
To
Which,
be honest,
to be fair, the sun, like serious radiation burn would probably look like that, or not serious, but like some radiation burn would probably look somewhat like that.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be like spots. It would be more pronounced, like everywhere.
Yeah.
So his whole face would basically be red like a tomato.
Yeah.
like an actual sunburn.
Yeah.
Like a partially, or I think they're going for like a partially recovering radiation burn kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The UV rays on this planet is worse than anywhere else. That plot point just felt forced, like because if you cut that out of this episode, it really serves no other purpose.
Well, you need that plot point for the whole I can turn the sky orange thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Otherwise, the sepia filter means nothing. Like we need to make the sepia filter relevant for this episode. So
yeah. Good
All
point.
right,
Good
so
point.
quick plot summary. SG-9 has been on this planet with the bad UV radiation, I guess, amongst the natives for like a month for some reason.
yeah,
The head of SG-9 convinces himself that he's God. And that he's the god, and thus he's the god of these people. He's in charge. He goes full Apocalypse Now. Two of the members of SG-9 try to escape. One gets caught in the beginning, killed, body burned. The guy who survives doesn't go through the gate, but he sends the code. SG-1 comes back the next and a few hours later to investigate, meet the guy, find out that the head of SG-9 has gone all Colonel Kurtz, and they have to do something about it. This guy is also Carter's ex-boyfriend.
ex-fiance actually.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like the
Ex-fiance.
fiance. Yeah, they did. I guess they didn't get married, but they were going to, and then
Yeah,
it turned out. Then she realized what he is at some point.
Yeah, she gave the ring back, I think is the line.
Yep.
So they go. Turns out that the crazy SG-9 leader and I guess his one remaining goon, which that's probably the most evil guy in the show because he should he didn't go crazy. He should know better. But anyway, they're forcing the natives to work out in the sunlight to build a temple to their new god. And with the promise that the leader of SG-9, I'm blanking on his name, will make the sky orange.
Jonas Hansen.
Jonas
Yeah.
Hansen.
We took two boy bands and we merged them together, and that's how you get Captain Jonas Hansen from Boy Meets World.
Only a captain. Okay. All right, so that he will restore the sky to being orange like they were in the ancient times that blocks all the UV radiation. Because people have been living in caves, like old disused mines, since they're abandoned by the Goa'uld on the planet. So there's a very badly planned rescue idea there. Carter just goes off, punches the main goon, gets captured intentionally, immediately.
Yeah.
Without orders. O'Neill
actually,
has
that's sorry to interrupt you here, but there's a lot of insubordination in this episode.
there
Ignoring
is-
like Hammond or Hansen basically just straight up, going AWOL and pulling an Apocalypse Now. What's the other guy's name? Is it Carter? No, not
Connor.
Carter. It's like Connor.
Connors?
Yeah, Connor.
Yeah,
Straight up,
Connor, Carter.
Both Carter and Connor are both basically just like, yeah, we're not following your orders, which is like
and
a big
he just
no-no in
shrugs
the
it off.
military.
By the way,
Yeah.
the insubordination thing, that's happened a couple of times in this series thus far. All of these characters, if this were real life, would have been court-martialed and dismissed from the program.
Yeah.
O'Neill included, long before any of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, early
that's
in the
Hammond runs on the
episode,
ship.
like O'Neill makes the remark, doesn't say Colonel anywhere on my uniform.
Yeah.
It-
The
it's
problem is he doesn't
foreshadowing.
really push back at all.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't push back at all. He's like he sort of pushes back. He's like he more or less does that. Come on, listen
Also-
to me. Okay.
Also, would colonels be on forward missions like this?
No,
Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean,
this
even
is
the
lieutenants
fact,
would be doing this.
yeah,
like colonels, like I feel like a colonel or a major would be second or third to Hammond in this particular situation. In this particular,
Yeah,
thing.
well, they would all be back at base doing administrative stuff. Like you would have like a lieutenant out there with maybe like a sergeant and like a couple of corporals or privates.
maybe a captain if things are really spicy.
Yeah, you may or may not bring along the archaeologist based off of what your first, sweep of the planet revealed.
Yeah. I mean, you would
Would-
also probably spend a lot more time sending drones through.
I mean they do send a lot of drones through.
They do, but they usually skip that whole conversation.
I mean they have plot to get to. They don't want to
Mhm.
too long. That's just housekeeping.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know these teams should be more modular for mission profiles. A 4-person fire team is too small to send through the gate. You need full squads that you can put different teams in and out of for just different mission profiles, especially when you have civilians tagging along.
Yeah. But this show's on a budget, so 4
yeah.
actors. That's what you get.
Yeah, you get 4.
Mhm.
So yes, that is an inherent problem with the entire series. And that's also like the Star Trek syndrome of the writers don't know how military ranks work.
Yeah. I also do hope that the insubordination, it's fine for a dramatic plot point, but like it's happened a lot. And every single time I've been like, okay, look, I'm not a big fan of the military, but the military doesn't like that. You cannot be an insubordinate.
I
Yeah.
will disappoint you. Hammond runs a loose ship and lets them all operate on a long leash.
That's basically true, yeah.
In real life, Hammond would probably been demoted from, a 2-star general all the way back down to like a major with all the things he permits under his command.
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the whole Carter more or less getting captured thing. What is this? The second
Again.
time she's basically been captured /
Yep.
kidnapped, and it's not
they-
even. It's not
It's
even
episode 5.
halfway through the first season.
We are 5 episodes in, and we have
Like,
played
should we
Damsel in
start
Distress
Carter kidnap
twice.
counter? Can we do that?
It's actually not that much in the long run.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep track of it, and then if it starts to go over 10, I'm gonna let you guys know.
From what I've looked up, it seems like Carter plays Damsel in Distress or whatever a couple of times, and then eventually becomes a much better team member.
Yeah.
As the series goes on, they take turns getting captured and who gets to play the rescuer.
Yeah.
And so
In fact, my favorite episode, much further down the line, involves O'Neill getting captured.
Yeah.
I don't think
I
Grass
mean-
even got to that one.
Yeah. I mean, O'Neill is also he was the guy who was out of action in Broca Divide. He's also a guy who's out of action in a later episode, which we which we'll get to.
We'll get to.
Yeah.
So anyway, Carter's plan is to get captured and to talk to Jonas. O'Neill's plan is to get a straggler from the natives, trade clothes with him, because Connors gets captured again pretty quickly, and then I guess like tied to a pole with other prisoners and left out in the sunlight. So O'Neill's plan is to him, Teal'c, and Daniel capture a straggling native, trade clothes with him, convince them that they're the good guys, and then go and just untie Connors and walk out with them. That doesn't work either. He and Connors get captured immediately.
Yeah. Turns out not a great plan.
No, so two bad plans. But then Jackson Teal'c and the native guy figure out what the deal is with the orange sky, because Teal'c's like, oh, I've seen that before. He doesn't know how it works. He's just seen it before, and he knows what the buttons are. And also that there's two devices, because Jonas has found one device and he thinks he can use that to be God. His plan would not work if left his own devices. So they go pretty easily find the second device and get that ready. Jonas tries to execute O'Neill and Connors by, I guess, putting the Stargate flat, horizontal, and then just dropping them into like splat against the iris.
So
is
how
like his
heavy?
plan.
How heavy is a Stargate supposed to be? Because these things have, in most planets, they have stood perfectly straight for hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of years, and not been knocked over or eroded or anything. And then the handful of people were like, "Yeah, we're just gonna like turn it sideways."
They're a few tons, I think.
Yeah, it's that's one thing that bugged me a little bit about this episode. Like, we quite clearly established that, you know, these are, again, cavemen. Second episode in a row, we get cavemen.
They're not really cavemen. They're more. They seem more
they're molemen.
Bronze
they're
Age or yeah.
They have cave paintings.
Oh,
they do.
fair enough.
They have ancient cave paintings, so they're past being cave. I mean, built in caves, yes, but
they also
not
understand. They also understand what a temple is.
And they know how to like measure and cut stones into right angles.
That I have issue with, because specifically when they're showing these people working, they're literally falling all over themselves. They're straight up like they don't know how to hold a rock. They're basically falling down hills. Like,
yeah,
well, I don't know how this thing's gonna get built.
They're malnourished and they're getting radiation poisoning,
and also that dirt was loose.
And also
that's true.
Yeah.
But no, some of the guys were wearing like the I guess mud helmets that are Papuan from Papua New Guinea. There's a tribe there that has those mud helmets. So they took some visual design from native Papuans, which they don't do anything with it. They just like the mud helmet, I guess. The set design, I guess, costume designers.
Yeah, those were pretty cool.
Yeah, so Stone Age, not cavemen. Anyway, so the execution doesn't go as planned because Daniel and their native friend show up to make a point, because Colonel Jonas turns on his device, nothing happens, and then Daniel makes a speech, and then Teal'c turns on the other device, and then the sky goes orange. There's a scuffle, and Captain Jonas Kurtz, whatever, gets tossed into the Stargate to go splat against the iris.
Yeah, Jonas meets Splat.
Yeah. And also
Man meets Iris.
Man meets Iris.
Man meets Iris, the new series, yeah.
And not the Goo Goo Dolls song.
Yeah. And never mind the fact that he probably should have been brought back to face a court-martial, because earlier on in the episode, he shoots another officer and turns him into a dude barbecue.
Well,
yeah, no, he executes one of his own men who was trying to escape with Connors in the beginning.
My question and this is probably gonna be that I think about a lot, is couldn't they just like turn the Stargate back on, go through it, and say, "Hey, we need some more people"? I've already brought this up once, but like,
well, that's what he wanted to do in the beginning.
Yeah,
O'Neill
tries to order Connors to do that.
Yeah,
and
he's like, "No, I'm going with you." It's like, what makes more sense? We
could go back and get like
here, or are you getting reinforcements?
People.
Yeah. But
yeah, there
whatever.
are a lot of problems in Counter, which could be solved by just going and getting like 5 more SG teams to come through with DACA, and they only actually do that a handful of times in the series.
Yeah, I mean, the real reason is because they didn't have the budget to have multiple team actors on this episode, so
Sure.
they think of a plot contrivance to make it work.
And I,
all the budget went to to casting Jonas Hansen. So
yes,
His
And,
famed 90s.
yeah,
ego.
and
William
later-
Russ, he's got to get paid.
Yeah, in later episodes, they tried to explain that away by saying, well, you have all these SG teams out on other missions to other planets, so there's no one available. But, I mean, even so, you would have some sort of backup force
Yeah.
ready to go in case something like this happened.
Yeah.
But once again, like all of these things happen because otherwise the plot doesn't necessarily work. So they kind of think of contrivances to make it happen. It's basically nitpicky stuff about this episode. For the most part, I think this is a pretty good episode.
Yeah, it is. I do think it's a good episode. Like,
oh, and the fourth member of SG-9, who was the main henchman, gets blasted with a staff weapon during the climax, which good riddance.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
I don't know if I have tons to say about this episode other than I enjoyed it the second most of these 4.
Yeah. I feel like William Russ steals the show whenever he's on screen.
Oh,
he does a very good job.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think Carter still seems inconsistent on her characterization. Like, how firm is this person? Like, is her character gonna fall into sexist tropes, or is she gonna be like a genuinely good character? Like, what's gonna happen here? But
yeah,
it's otherwise.
It's very early. They haven't fully established her character yet, so I can forgive some of that.
I do hope at some point they stop teleporting into the forests of Canada and go somewhere else for a minute. I know that's going to be mostly what's going to happen over the next 10 seasons, but
well, the next episode we get the first downstage episode, so you got that. But it's a lot of forest episodes, so hate to break it to you.
Oh, that's not a soundstage in Cold Lazarus, but that's
I didn't see Cold
time.
Lazarus. I saw Brief Candle, which also takes place in a place that's not a forest. They instead drove all the way to the beach.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, then it might be the same. Might be the same set as Cold Lazarus, actually. But
well,
great.
We will get to that because I know some trivia. But yeah.
Like any more thought? Like, so go ahead.
I have a lot of thoughts. Does anyone else?
Go ahead.
Jack O'Neill has a quote in here that one day I hope to use. It's some brain dead sycophant left my buddy out here to die, so we're out of here.
Oh yeah, when they're getting captured, the second time, and like in the main goon is like, hey, what are you doing? He says that.
I mean, to have the nerve to call somebody a brain dead sycophant while they're holding an M16 in their hands, that is Jack O'Neill's decades serving as special forces, like nerve right there.
Yeah, there are a lot of good. There are some good character moments in this episode for sure.
Yeah,
there are a lot of good lines, and again, like the fact that Hansen like does actual biblical references. He's like, hey, I can be the Old Testament God, and then he just tries to be that.
Yeah, he's straight up like, yo, man, I'm basically God to these people. So like, why the fuck not?
Like he has a Bible, like a small travel Bible, and he's just quoting the Old Testament when playing God.
Yeah. Like once again, steals the show absolutely. This guy.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he's great in this. Also, this is the first time Stargate acknowledges the Bible. This will be a rare occurrence. So
like one of 2.
It's only 2.
Yeah. So I'm only through season Like I'm up to season 6, and this is the first of 2 times they actually, have episodes pertaining to the Bible.
You've
Okay.
already watched up to season 6?
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm terrible at watching television shows. What am I doing wrong?
Just pace yourself. Chew on over time.
Mm-hmm.
So this is another piece of. So we've already seen that they need better screening protocols for Goulds, which I think they establish after episode 2. They need better quarantine protocols, which they will slowly establish over time.
Yeah.
After the Broca Divide, and now this is showing that they need way better psych screenings for SG members.
So they do. I want to point out something. They do say that Hansen went out. Somebody got lost or something, and Hansen went out of the cave during the day into this bright radioactive sun for like 2 days looking for this guy, and found him and brought him back. And the guy was barely alive. I think it was a child.
It was a child. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, it was barely.
Yeah, like,
he brought him back barely alive, and this is what the people worship him.
Yeah, well,
when you're out in like awful conditions like that for a long time, I guess that could really mess with your brain.
Yeah,
I could buy that the radiation got to him, the sun got to him, and he went kind of crazy out there.
Yeah, but they also established he was like a borderline personality to begin with.
Yeah.
And
but also the U.S. military, not thoroughly investigating someone, maybe something I could also buy.
Yeah, they do make a joke about that later too. With I forget if it's with Teal'c or if it's with Daniel Jackson, but at one point Connor does bring up like, it wasn't just one thing; it was a lot of little things that just seemed to eventually add up, and then suddenly we're here, right? Like I guess one of the other plot points is just him kind of. It's hard to tell if he's struggling with what happened between him and Carter. It seems like he's trying to be high and mighty about it. Like why kidnap her otherwise, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, he does offer her a place by his side, I guess, but he doesn't seem to be forcing. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be forcing it. She's just like, if you want to, the opportunity's there.
Well, like he's working on her.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing work.
That's how like the cult leader brainwashing thing is. Yeah, you have to work on someone over time.
Yeah.
There is a moment. So, all right. So Carter, the first episode is like, I had 100 flight hours in the Gulf War. Like she's done stuff. She's military. She has a gun on Jonas. Like midway through the episode, and doesn't pull the trigger, and like that's like a moment where he like, I guess, establishes that he's in control of the situation. It's a weird thing because Carter eventually you would think Carter could just pull that trigger, be done with it.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those situations where like I'm not going to give her character too much shit because this is. I mean, if you think about it, this is someone who they established at one point she had a romantic relationship with, and she doesn't necessarily hate. So it could be. I mean, part of her saying that she wants to stay and she wants to do something about it right away is. I wouldn't want to say that she cares about him, but like she. Not romantically, but
shooting someone you care about or cared about in the past is a very difficult thing for anyone to do.
Yeah, exactly. So that's something I could easily buy. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's also the reason why she probably should have stayed behind as ordered.
Yeah.
But like even
because
still,
like anyone else in that situation's like, what are you gonna do? Kill me? No, I'm gonna shoot you in the leg.
Yeah,
but no. Another reason. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you again, Tyler. I want to point out. Supposedly, she was also surrounded by his followers. And while she did have a pistol, that pistol didn't have maybe a dozen shots in it at most. She couldn't have. If she'd have shot him, she would have almost certainly also died herself.
I mean, the way those natives turn on him at the end, like if he was dead,
they are straight fickle. They're like, oh fuck this guy, throw him in the pit.
But she doesn't know that. Like if she'd have shot him, she'd have been dead too.
Maybe. But I don't
Uh,
think that's like, I don't buy that is the reason why she chooses not to shoot him.
yeah.
I think at a
Uh,
certain point, like, I don't think she ever gives up on trying to save him. Basically,
no, she doesn't, and I guess that's what they're going for there. It's just clumsy.
yeah, like it could
Uh,
have been written better, but
yeah. I do want to point out that if you pay attention to like the gate set, I like the set they had in the woods for the gate and like the path away from it and all that. That's the exact same placement, exact same gate set and setup as the Broca Divide.
Yeah, I figured.
Like
I mean,
they,
my guess is that they had multiple Stargate sets, meaning just the gate and the forest in different parts of that forest.
oh, so a fun fact that I learned while researching the show, they had two gates. They had a heavier gate with more detail on it that they stuck in like the gate room set and kept there, and then they had a less heavy, less elaborate gate that they would truck around to various places. So every time you see like an off-world gate, that's the same gate. The setup,
presumably by like season 5, they had another handful.
maybe.
Or did they just use the same one for the entire show?
Well, by season not okay. I'm not gonna go that far. But for the time being, it's it's just the one gate that they can move around different sets.
yeah, they probably got like one gate that's constructed out of like sheet metal parts welded together, and another gate that's just straight up like, yeah, we made this out of PVC and painted it.
All right.
Yeah. So they probably shot the like gate scenes for this at the same time where they shot the gate scenes in Broca Divide because it's literally the same spot in the woods. They already had it there. It's I just like that. Story wise, probably don't let SG teams hang out on a planet for 5 weeks. Rotate them out. Is the lesson I get from this.
Or just require a check-in.
Yeah, at the very least, like if someone's AWOL for a week,
like you have 72 hours to come back or something like that. If you don't, we're sending in another team.
Or at least a probe or something to just make sure, like, yo, is there something wrong on the other side? Is the gate broken?
I mean, they've already established that you can send messages through the gates. So
yeah, and that is a thing that comes up in the later episodes. This is the only time we see someone going full apocalypse now. So they do solve this problem.
Yeah.
After it happens.
I would hope so.
Which, by the way, happens fairly early in this program's history. So you got to be thinking like, damn, guys, we're really fucking it up right at the start. You know, we got, you know, the disease, we got apocalypse now. Like the next episode's got some wild bullshit that happens. So, you know, oh boy.
Like I said, they're establishing all of the rules for how to run the SGC the hard way.
Yeah, just we did everything wrong, and we're learning from our mistakes, probably, but maybe not as quickly as you'd like.
All right, so I won't point out the ADR because I guess that bothers everyone.
Oh no, it's fine. When it's like absolutely obvious.
If you have something you want to say about it, that's fine.
I like to play spot the obvious ADR.
I didn't notice anything again, probably because it's the first time I'm seeing this.
The part where the henchman is like yelling at and beating one of the workers before Carter goes up and punches him. Him screaming at a worker who had like fallen down and like all the dialogue there, very clearly not being said on set.
There was one callback. I'm not sure if it's a callback joke on this episode or not. Do you remember in that first movie when Jackson's eating that weird bug thing and he's like, "Hey, it tastes like chicken."
Oh right. Was that this episode or was that a different episode?
So in this episode,
it was this episode.
Yeah, in this episode, he's eating something and he's like, "This tastes like chicken. What's wrong with that? It's macaroni and cheese."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good old fashioned MRE joke. Everyone loves MRE jokes.
So are we still going on? Because there's a thing I was going to ask you.
Oh no, I have several notes. You go ahead.
So like quality wise, how do you think these episodes compare to the movie? Are all of them better? Any of them worse?
I've seen all these more than I've seen the movie.
Yeah, I would say the movie's absolutely better than all of them except for the First Commandment, which I think is.
Or
I
Enemy
mean,
Enemy Within and First Commandment may be better than the movie.
oh, I forgot Enemy Within was in here. Yeah, I would say like, so Enemy Within is actually like probably my favorite episode of this bunch, followed by the First Commandment.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to quantify saying that the whether or not these are better than the movie or not. I think
Yeah.
the movie's problems aren't because you could compare them to this show. The movie's problems are more so just it being kind of like a
Forgettable
just kind of like a
blockbuster.
yeah, it's not especially bad, that movie. I would never say it's bad. I just don't think it's especially great either,
Interesting.
at least
Yeah.
in my
All right.
opinion.
All right.
So, I don't know. It's a when you're watching something for 40 minutes and it's got a little bit of stuff in there where you're like, I'm not really interested. It's a little bit more forgivable when than when watching a movie and there's like parts where it's like, well, why is this in here?
When it goes on for 30 minutes, you're like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I mean, yeah.
For me, the entire first season or 2 seasons are a write-off, so I have no emotion attached to this.
Okay.
Yeah, these are mostly just like establishing episodes for the most part. Well, at least some of them try to be that, and some of them are just more or less like, "Yo, we got that Star Trek ready to write the same episode again, so here you go."
Wait, Tyler,
She was
what about you?
I would say out of this first batch of episodes, I'm gonna go with the First Commandment, just because I have like a pseudo interest in cults. So kind
all
of
right.
like throughout the episode, like Hansen, he's quoting various parts of the Bible, and you kind of see this a little bit in real life. They will just kind of cherry pick various verses and just kind of take the parts that it allows them to build their case why they're a deity. So there's another episode later on that will kind of circle back to this issue a little bit, but I guess in terms of pertaining to my real world interest, this episode touched on that.
Yeah, he's really good at the whole cult leader thing. The actor here again,
Yeah.
too good for the show. I guess my last production notes here. When O'Neill blowguns that one guard when he's going in for his plan, and the guy like falls down into the mining area. That's a good stunt. That's like some hard bumps the guy takes. I watched it a couple times, make sure it was a guy, not a dummy. It was a guy. That was a sketchy series of bumps he took, and it seems it seems successful. So props to that stunt guy for making that work.
Okay. Real quick, I want to point out regarding that particular stunt. According to this wiki page I'm looking at, the first shot where you see that dude who gets shot, he's wearing different clothes. Like the first shot, he's wearing like a loincloth, and when it cuts back to him after he's been shot, he's wearing robes. At least according to this wiki page.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Maybe they fixed it in post.
Maybe they fixed it in post. But yeah, no, that was a good stunt. I just want to point it out. Also, fun. Again, this is something that like just a very small thing for me. When Hansen does his big reveal to Carter of the orange sky device, the anti-radiation device, it's like under a cloth. He pulls the cloth off to show her. His first pull, he's trying to do a big flourish, but it only gets like a quarter of the cloth off. It like he unsuccessfully flourishes it off. So then he just, you know, two hands reaches over and like takes it off normally. And that had to have been like something where they didn't want to do more takes, so they just kept that take. Like he was supposed to do a flourish, and then like it just didn't work, so he just took it off. I don't know. That's a little.
It's very likely at a certain point, you know, you just give up. You're like, fuck it, let's go, let's move on, guys.
Yeah, that's just a little something that always amuses me to see.
Yeah.
The line that got like the full belly laugh from me is when Teal'c is explaining the device that he knows about to Jackson and their native friend. He's like drawing a picture on like a memo pad. And the native guy, you know, was explaining. The native guy goes, "Oh, good drawing." And Teal'c's just like, without missing a beat, deadpan goes, "Thank you," and then continues explaining. It's like the timing on that and the delivery from Chris Judge is very good.
Yeah,
they got a full belly laugh.
Yeah, I can hear the Kratos in his voice sometimes, like the God of War 2018. Because Christopher Judge played that character.
Oh yeah.
And like he definitely does a lot more like yelling and stuff in there. But whenever he's like quote unquote calm or calm for Kratos, you could hear sort of the same voice just with a mark of anger in it.
Chris Judge figures out. It seems like he figures out his character before most of the other actors.
I feel like he figured out his character like in the first episode.
Yeah, like he had a handle on this immediately, and that is
it's sort of the flip for his character though. Like the writers seem to have less idea of what to do with him than anyone. But the actual actors for both O'Neill and Teal'c sort of just seem to know what they're doing.
And that will be a running theme throughout the series.
Yeah, I don't think Michael Shanks or Amanda Tapping are. Like,
oh no,
yeah,
no, they group into it. But what I mean is that like Chris Judge has a better handle on his character than the writers do.
Oh yeah,
agreed.
To the point where by the time you get to the last couple seasons, it's like he's not even receiving direction. He's just doing his thing. Like he gets a script, he does his thing. No one's directing him because he knows more than the director does. But yeah, so that's everything I have for the First Commandment.
So I guess while we're still here, do we want to just like say what the next 4 episodes are, or which order it comes in, or?
Yes, the next 4 episodes, according to me, the Arbiter of All Truth. So episodes 6, 7, 8, and 9 are the next batch. And those will be Cold Lazarus, The Nox, Brief Candle, and Thor's Hammer. The quality goes up from here.
All right.
Cool. You're going to notice a immediate rise in quality in the next episode. Maybe not in sets. Right.
Great.
But
I watched Brief Candle already because my DVDs are in the wrong order for some reason.
Wonderful.
That one's interesting. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll go so far as to say as like Thor's Hammer is the first episode that I like in the series.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's something to look forward to next time. Usually these shows end with everyone plugging at the end, but none of you have plugs. Y'all should get hustles so you can plug stuff.
Are you saying I should start streaming more? I don't really want to.
I mean, I could still hustle the things. It's just I haven't done it in 4 months. So, anyway. Hey guys, my name's Jason. I sometimes stream on the internet. Jatsu84 on Twitch. You could watch me play JRPGs sometimes, and sometimes action games. I don't know why I'm sounding like I'm up at this time, but you know it's fine.
Because your whole bit is doing Kermit the Frog, right?
It might be. It could be. I got the highs and I got the lows, but you know.
Our DM in Tabletop came up with a character, a villain, that he called Cormit the Fraud. Um,
Ooh.
he had to
That's
do
pretty
that
good.
in a minute because just the way tabletop happens. It was pretty funny.
All right. Well, you can catch Tyler and myself on the Amateur Hour podcast, also airing on Deep Listens. It's about football. The season starts in a bit, so we'll start getting those out.
Yeah.
When
The Steelers uniform sucks.
when the Steelers uniform sucks, which is always because fuck the Steelers. But yeah, so I guess I did your plug for you, Tyler.
One other thing we should mention: we're going to be talking a little bit of fantasy football this year.
We are, yeah. We're actually doing the fantasy football. We're going to get into gambling.
Oh, gambling! Finally.
Yeah, just turn to a gambling podcast. Gino won't let that happen.
One day, you know what? Maybe that's what we do. If Deep Listens gets a certain amount of Patreon followers, they do certain things. If they get a certain amount of Patreon followers, we'll just reveal what the show's original title was, and then immediately
Yes.
get
It's
canceled.
not going to be that interesting to people. They're going to be like, "I'm so disappointed."
Yeah, it would just be disappointing, and you'll realize how how much of a shit brain I have.
Yeah, if you're spending money on a big reveal event, you should understand that whatever was in your head is way more interesting than whatever the answer is.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not reveal how hard it was for us to come up with a name.
Anyway,
I like the name. God damn it!
It was good. I liked it. Anyway, you can find me over at Fifth Generation Gaming at Twitch. I have a blog at fifthgengaming.blog, and I am sometimes on Blue Sky at Fifth Generation Gaming on Blue Sky. I need to post more. I don't post enough. I'm terrible at posting.
That's fine. That's like me on my Twitter account where I haven't posted on it in like 5 years.
You should
Which
delete
theoretically,
that,
I know you start the show by saying like Jason Jatsu redacted or whatever the heck. If I were to say my Twitch handle, my Twitter handle, that's just my name. It's just my full name.
But also, nobody posts on Twitter anymore because it's not called Twitter anymore.
That's true.
Some asshole changed the name.
It will also forever always be Twitter.
Yeah.
Also, delete your Twitter if you're listening to this.
Yeah, make a Mastodon.
Better
than that. Better.
Yeah, but don't make a Mastodon account. Make your own Mastodon.
Better yet,
Just
don't make
Mastodon.
make your own band called Mastodon and see how quickly. Never mind. No, instead you should just listen to the band Mastodon and forget about social media entirely.
Probably for the best. Else you gotta hustle.
Yeah, join us on MySpace.
Hell yeah. Tom would never treat you wrong.
Yeah, Tom's my buddy.
Listen,
friend.
Tom sold his site for a lot of money and dropped off the face of the earth. He's living the dream.
Which is the right thing to do. So that does it for us. Make sure to listen to more Deep Listens podcasts. They have a podcast about video games. There's another podcast off the deep end about RPGs that you haven't played because you're not cool enough. If you join the OG Soundcast tier of the Deep Listens Patreon for $3 a month, you can listen to the OG Soundcast, a show about anime, and that is determined to cover anime you have not seen. You've heard of some of it, yeah, but you haven't watched it. You're probably not going to watch it, but you listen to them talk about it.
Yeah, you can't actually watch it. I mean, I guess you could if you watched the waveform move up and down, but that's not recommended.
Yeah. And for only $1 a month, you can join the Deep Listens Discord, where you can yell at all of us about why our opinions are wrong, or join in talks about all the weird military things that they get wrong in Stargate, or talk about anything really. There's a lot of channels. You should join the Discord for $1 a month.
Yeah, but don't go to the food channel. Don't do that.
No, don't go to the food channel. Anyway, so that's it for us, and we will see you next time. Goodbye, Internet.